Growing up in the Philippines, Tzu provides pedicabs for Typhoon Haiyan survivors to improve their livelihood. In its 6th year of establishment, DaAi Technology wins an award from the EPA for upholding environmental protection. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. It has almost been a year since Typhoon Haiyan made landfall in the Philippines, devastating homes and killing thousands. However, residents have worked hard to recover from the disaster, and life can now be seen returning to normal in many of the hard-hit areas. And efforts to provide for those that lost everything in the typhoon continue, including a recent joint project between one of the country's most famous media personality, the local government, and Tzu to create a fleet of world-class pedicabs driven by disaster victims. The plan not only offers a steady income for those left without work, but Tzu also hopes the pedicabs will have a positive moral and environmental influence on society as a whole. First is class. Next is driver's training. Finally, the world-class pedicab team is ready to go. In order to help the victims of Typhoon Haiyan, a well-known television anchor in cooperation with TESDA and Tzu provided 200 pedicabs and driver training for free for those currently without work.
So this is an example, and we hope na ito na yung template sa lahat ng pedicab operations in the entire Philippines para sila mga modelong pedicab driver.
Very heartwarming, just to be part of this great program. When I first heard about the idea of coming up with world-class pedicab drivers, I told Sir Ted that I really wanted to be part of it.
It's not only pedicab, but it's also giving them their lives back.
This is a never-seen-before experimental project that takes aim at both the city's job and transportation problems. For the drivers, it is a dream come true.
This will be our source of income. We really want to thank Tzu. Without them and Ted Fallon, this would have never happened. Our lives are already starting anew.
Now that we have our own pedicab, we can enjoy a more stable source of income. My husband can also drive our children to school.
Tzu hopes the pedicabs will not only help support families financially, but also play a bigger role in society.
Not only to transport people, but they can also help them with recycling. They can help them with other community services like being an ambulance, also instilling, following traffic rules, instilling good values.
Thus, each pedicab boasts a selection of master Jinyan's Jingsi aphorisms. These new pedicabs in areas affected by Typhoon Haiyan are not only bringing hope to families, but wisdom to a city. Indians all over the world celebrated Diwali last Thursday. Prior to the festival, Tzu volunteers in Klang, Malaysia, organized a distribution at a local Tamil school for students from low-income Indian families, bringing forth their blessings and well wishes ahead of the Hindu New Year. Today, this light of hope has been brought to this Tamil school by Tzu volunteers.
Happy Diwali! Happy Diwali!
Each year during Diwali, volunteers organize distributions for their Indian care recipients ahead of the festival. This year, volunteers held 8 distributions and provided 260 families with aid to make sure they're taken care of during the Hindu New Year. These children come from really poor families. We are so thankful for the assistance provided by the Tzu volunteers. It came in the nick of time.
I see the Blue Angels. They always come to my school and they help a lot. And I find today's program is excellent, very nice. I see the sincerity is there. So they are not hoping to get anything back, only by giving.
Teachers done best to lend their assistance at the distribution. Such acts of kindness inspired others to follow suit. Before, I didn't really know how to help others, but after seeing the video clip and hearing the story of the bamboo coin bank, I will remember to set aside some of my grocery money to help others in need. There are many who are worse off than us, so we should try to help them as much as we can.
Students and teachers show their appreciation to the volunteers by singing the song We Are One Family in Tamil. As Diwali is a time to turn inward and light the lamp of love in our hearts, in this moment, the innate goodness of students and teachers shines forth.
Taiwan's Northern District TMA members recently made house calls to patients in Ruifang District, New Taipei City. Attending the event was TMA Dr. Qiu Nanxiong, who says sometimes the most effective medicine is simply taking a walk outdoors to enjoy the sunshine or the smell of fresh air. But first, let's join a free clinic organized by the Tzu Chi Long Island branch in the United States.
Something is different about this year's free clinic organized by the Tzu Chi Long Island branch. Unlike previous years, the clinic is being held inside a Catholic church, and the services provided are a little different as well.
What's special about this year's free clinic is that in addition to providing basic health checkups and consultations, we are also providing dental services for the very first time.
Those coming to seek medical advice are mostly illegal immigrants from Central and South America who do not have access to healthcare insurance. Today's clinic is going to address their health problems.
My father-in-law went through the whole internal medicine checkup, and they found out he had some problems, so we got to follow up with the doctor. But everything over here is free, and we are happy with all the service that we got. Thank you very much.
And we're very grateful and blessed to have you come every year. Thank you.
Suffering from terminal cancer, Mr. Joel lies on the sofa not wanting to move, as his body is simply too weak. After measuring Mr. Joel's blood pressure, doctors invite him to go outside to soak up a little sun.
I always believe that the human body possesses the capacity to heal itself. By offering emotional support and just being there for patients, I believe they can get better.
Feeling the sun on his face again and with the volunteers by his side, soon the man's face lights up with a smile.
He's smiling. Master Zhenyan says that a smiling face is the most beautiful face in the world.
He seemed dispirited in the beginning and wasn't really keen to go outside, but after our brothers and sisters accompanied him for a little while, he agreed to come outside and get some sun.
Sun exposure helps the body absorb calcium, and strong sunlight can kill bacteria.
Not a day goes by that Zhou Lan Jingye doesn't think about her recently deceased son. Upon seeing the volunteers, the senior breaks down in tears. Accompanying the senior outdoors to help take her mind off her sorrows, team of doctors and volunteers hope she may soon get through her loss and grief and onto the path of recovery.
Back in September, we first reported on the story of 38-year-old Alex Tang from Los Angeles, California, who was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a rare form of cancer. Desperately needing a hematopoietic stem cell transplant, Alex and his supporters called on the help of the Chinese community. To date, no match has been found, and Alex's time is running out. The Tzu Chi volunteers in the United States have set up yet another event at the Tzu Chi headquarters to call on members of the public to register to help save a life.
And the reason I'm here is that deaths are just like Alex. There's so many thousands of people in the United States are waiting for bone marrow transplant.
In 2011, Lin Kechang registered with Tzu Chi to donate his hematopoietic stem cells. This year, he was a match and donated his peripheral blood stem cells to someone in need.
It's like donating blood. There aren't side effects like if you had a major surgery. When I did it, the next day was Friday, so I rested throughout the weekend and was fine to return to work on Monday.
Through Lin's sharing, many people were no longer afraid to register.
The past conception was that donating stem cell was scary and would hurt, but I heard about the medical advances from the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters and how it's just done through drawing blood out. I thought because I often donate blood, it was no big deal, so I came to register.
This event helped more people to understand the procedure, so they know it's not dangerous.
What we go through isn't painful, it is just a small process, and we can help someone in need. That's the most important thing.
As more people register, it increases the chance for patients like Alex Tung to find a match. Thus, volunteers hope more will sign up and help save a life. In Taiwan, irrigation channels are controlled by sluice gates, which are turned on and off manually by people known as sluice gate controllers. These controllers are employed by the local irrigation association, and their job is to make sure each farm gets the right amount of water without wasting a drop. We now meet two sluice gate controllers of the Jianan Irrigation Association.
Opening a sluice gate to a farm on the Jianan Plain, water immediately flows into the nearly 1 hectare field. The person who controls the gate is called a sluice gate controller.
You can control it from here. This is closing the gate.
84-year-old Guo Qingjiang has been doing this for more than 3 decades and knows everything in and around the neighborhood.
The district went through 4 district chiefs already, and so has this district here. That's a total of 8 district chiefs. The Irrigation Association has gone through 6 or 7 chairmen as well, so I've been around.
Guo tends to the fields riding on his bicycle. His jurisdiction goes from one end of the road all the way to the other end.
Don't worry, the dog won't bite. This used to be a small dirt path, but has now been paved and widened. Before, even if it was in the middle of the night and you couldn't see a thing, I still had to go on a patrol.
The job of a sluice gate controller is more than just night patrols.
Sometimes farmers do come and tamper with the gates. For example, a farmer might think his field needs more water and will come open the gate. That's why I have the gates locked now.
The job is not easy, as adequate water will ensure a farmer will have a good harvest, and thus farmers often bicker over their water allocation, which is why a gate controller must be fair and just and help farmers resolve their differences with wisdom.
You must remember to greet everyone you meet. We have pretty much come to know just about every farmer in our district. Farmers themselves don't know when a sluice gate should be shut down to prevent wastage, so we have to remind them.
63-year-old Zhang Shenqiang has been on the job for nearly a decade. As a farmer himself, he knows to distribute the water based on the needs of the crop and clear away any blockages when he sees them. These sluice gate controllers know how vital water is to farming and thus do their best to ensure wastage is minimized while crops get just the right amount of water.
What can you do with pieces of broken or unwanted furniture? In Taiwan's Jiayi, the local Environmental Protection Agency and National Jiayi University have joined hands to establish a program where students are using their creativity to give unwanted items a new lease on life. But first, we go to Taichung City to see how recycled glass is being transformed into green building materials.
Although sorting recyclable has become a habit for many of Taiwan's residents, many still find it hard to recycle glass as it is heavy and can break easily.
We can't bury glass nor burn it because the temperature inside the incinerator is not high enough to melt it. The only solution is to recycle it.
唯一的方式就是回收而已。
What can we do with recycled glass? After being placed in a high temperature, glass can be transformed into glass aggregate. When mixing recycled glass aggregate with concrete, pavements will be given a shiny surface. Besides being used in pavements, glass aggregate can also be used in mosaic tiles, floor tiles, and much more.
We have mixed recycled glass aggregate with concrete. The glass aggregate was made using recycled glass.
Turning recycled glass into glass aggregate not only solves the problem of storage, but also gives the discard glass items a new lease on life. Furthermore, the shiny surface produced by mixing concrete with glass is nice to look at. At 7 o'clock in the evening, a group of students and teachers are here in this factory to work some magic. By using their creativity and skills, students are ready to give unwanted pieces of furniture a new lease on life.
This time, we will be working with 3 broken wooden chairs. We want to turn them into a bookshelf. It uses up a lot of electricity to turn trees into building materials. We can save a lot of energy and transportation costs by making new items out of unwanted pieces of furniture.
Thanks to a collaboration between the Environmental Protection Agency and school, wood waste is being transformed into new furniture, which will later be given to those in greater need.
It has been more than 23 years since the Environmental Protection Administration of Taiwan established the Enterprise Environmental Protection Award, also known as the EEP Award. The purpose of the award is to recognize enterprises that have met certain environmental standards. This year, DaAi Technology was among the 36 enterprises that brought home the high honor.
At the 23rd Enterprise Environmental Protection Award in Taiwan, DaAi Technology was awarded for being one of the most eco-friendly enterprises in the country. Since its establishment more than 5 years ago, DaAi Technology has been transforming plastic bottles recycled by volunteers into green products. Over the years, the company has won much recognition domestically and abroad. Furthermore, all proceeds from selling its products are donated to charity.
All these recycling volunteers did a great job sorting the plastic bottles. Thanks to their selfless dedication, we were able to limit carbon emissions and water usage during production.
Besides the manufacturing industry, many schools, hospitals, and financial institutions were also recognized. Among the winners of the EEP Award was ASUS, a worldwide consumer notebook vendor.
We have more than 1,000 suppliers, and we have asked all of them to follow our Green ASUS standard. Besides to congratulate and express my thanks, I wanted to say that all of you are a positive influence for Taiwan.
By setting up the EEP Award, the Environmental Protection Administration of Taiwan hopes to encourage more enterprises to contribute their share in making the world a better place.
A student of Taipei Municipal Da'an Vocational High School in Taiwan, Li Chenjing, won a Tzu Chi New Shoot Scholarship this year. Li's parents divorced when he was 6, and despite losing 2 loved ones in the past 5 years, Li remains a good student and helps out at home whenever possible. Understanding the impermanence of life, he treasures all the time he has left with his family. Perhaps because his mother has not been around since he was young, Li Chenjing is quite mature for his age. Over the past 5 years, he has lost both his beloved great-grandmother and grandmother.
When I talk to Chen Jing, there are often tears in his eyes. It really breaks my heart to see that.
Tzu Chi volunteers frequently visit the young man as he has been through so much for his age.
He puts up a strong exterior following the passing of his grandmother and great-grandmother. He's so brave that I just want to protect him like a mother would.
Diagnosed with liver cirrhosis, Li's father is often at the hospital. Making ends meet is Li's 60-some-year-old grandfather who does odd jobs. Thankfully, Li was awarded Tzu Chi's New Shoot Scholarship this year, thus lessening the burden on his family.
My grandfather works hard. After he returns home, he will cook meals for us. Of course, when I can, I will do my part in shouldering my family's finances.
One of this year's winner of the 10 Outstanding Young Persons in Taiwan is the nearly 21-year-old Guo Xingchun, who won the Athletic Skills category. Though Guo didn't fare well in the 2012 Olympics, last year she snatched first place in 4 international competitions and was voted the nation's most outstanding female athlete. Guo gave some of the award money to her mother and used the rest to purchase equipment for her school. You have got to believe in yourself and control your breathing, which is very important. You have to watch out for hyperventilation, which will elevate your heartbeat and ruin your pace. I grew up in a single-parent family, but was really raised by my maternal grandmother. The environment I grew up in and my classmates were all very positive, which helped me develop my optimistic outlook. I've always had an interest in sports since I was young. I have tried judo, soccer, basketball, track, and various others. They helped keep me distracted and not focus on the difficulties I had to deal with growing up. I broke my bone right here. I was squatting and the bar came down and struck me. Afterwards, during my training, I would intentionally try to avoid more injuries there. After my injury, many people encouraged me to take things slowly and pace myself instead of always trying to rush things and hurrying towards my goal. I think all these things were already predetermined by the heavens, so I can progress properly. After all, my true goal is the Olympics. I never thought that I would have anything to do with the 10 Outstanding Young Persons Award in this lifetime. I had always thought a winner has to be someone who has contributed a lot to society and can make an impact on society. I hope that others can be inspired by my confidence and my courage in dealing with and recovering from injury. I want to tell all children, especially the indigenous children, to go ahead and chase after their dreams and not worry about what others might think of them. At the end of the show, we traveled to China's Fujian, where a group of seniors helped sort recyclables at the Ciji Nanjing Recycling Center. At this new recycling station, some volunteers see the repetitive sorting as a way to cultivate their own inner wisdom, while others see it as a way to garner blessings for their grandchildren. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. See you next time.